It's starting. Oh no, he looks angry in this one. He looks so angry. Oh. Okay. Ominous. Extremely ominous. But whatever. The sword's getting real close. A month later. Oh my god, that's a lot of posts. Another month swallowed into the dystopian 2020 abyss. The march towards social media supremacy continues unabated. Last week, you leapfrogged over Katy Perry. You slid, but okay. Shut up. The woman you just eclipsed has been outspokenly critical of law enforcement through her platform, but as far as really, okay then. I think like this, which make it all the difference when it comes to clawing your way to the top. It's a matter of commitment, you think. You've been catching a lot of bitches slipping lately, and rankings have served them notice. A limo. Oh, so she was the one with the duel. Okay. 2 doors in Coal Empire. Your distinct personal touch to life here on the island has stabilized after a rocky start. A few daft political maneuvers have brought stability to your stolen summer calling. The same can't be said for the rest of the nation at this point. How do they have food? Okay, so lots of insurrections, very cool. I like this one. I think it's funny. Tire. Okay. Really? Who would have thought? Why is it just the East Coast? Show the whole map. New. Oh. Is that the name of the colony? Formal recognition? Uh. Oh, I'm sorry, what? They're just like, yeah, you can have it. No more capturing. What the fuck? While volatility has stalled in the US due to your treaty, it's only been picking up steam in other nations. You're gonna lose track of what's happening where since so much to observe all at once. You got your hands full of domestic matters. And notice as your broader culture phenomenon has become such a short period of time, many celebrities are outlet. Manifesto. You don't really give a fuck about. You're flattered nonetheless. You are floored when you heard Post Malone was hopping into your tent. You even got some. You faced it. That would be funny. You have no idea if he found out what a huge fan of his you are, but you think you'd have embarrassment if he knew. Sometimes you wonder if Abby sent him a sneaky marriage behind your back. Sneaky message. You can read, I swear. Speaking of which, it seems Abby has managed to use her newfound celebrity influence to climb the ladder to her own phase. She is now in contact with her leader named June, which seems more than 15 minutes without malfunctioning. You start getting wind of decidedly familiar sudden movement picking up steam in South Korea with everyone's seven favorite boys at the helm. Her wiles. Surprise, Abby didn't have to do much strong arming at all. Turns out you already had a lot more. Okay. She befriended him, and after many extensive dialects of justice and the perils of capitalism, start their own revolution. I feel like South Korea is a lot better off than we are right now. I feel like they have pretty bad working conditions like most Asian countries, but they seem to be better off politically, like they don't need to go out and kill police. Oh, maybe they are. Who knows? Galvanizing the people of their own nation to stand up for positive social change, they have been inordinately principled to aversion murder, which leaves you a bit pessimistic about their ultimate efficacy in their methods, but you'll let them play the game they will for now. It appears as if the global movement is fermenting in the wake of Jubilee uprising. Like in South Korea, parallel movements are cropping up across the world. He didn't even give us a fake choice. Meanwhile, it's finally time for another formal debriefing. It's been a full month since the last one. Oh, look, it's the house. I haven't been to briefing since because you don't want to make a habit of these meetings. Too much ass kissing, too much micromanagement, stuff you can't be bothered with. You've been way too busy with high stakes diplomacy anyways. You just allowed her the slack to develop the projects in her own way. Keep a close eye on her. If you're going to keep a close eye on her, then what's the point of letting her do it? Seems like she's making the most of that slack. The roster of Ring 3 seems to be dramatically expanded under Josely's administration. A lot more clown faces here. It's not too surprising. There's one thing however to be surprised by. It's the unrelenting accrual of new clowns. More clowns than you can ever know what to do with. What a pleasure it is for you to make an appearance at our headquarters. It's been too long since we've had the honor of briefing you in person. And may I just thanks, but you really should be. Oh yeah, haha, well slipped the tongue. Again, inside my advanced pranksters division has been. Let's stay outside, use the fresh air. Just follow me and say whatever you want to say. And it appears that I condescend to describe such as the gallery of rogues here. Who knows how odd these chuckle fucks are? Like kid, of course, we're all friends here, and we like to joke around. So good about this one, don't you think? We keep things light and humorous. No wonder ideologies get stuffy, self-important. Haha, not us though. Right. Just want to make over-explaining is simply for the sake of providing a well-rounded presentation to all. Yes. That said, let's take from the top. More elites of Jubilite movement have already introduced these teachings. It's still being kept from the masses, so your discretion, of course, as not to alert our targets to our methods too blatantly. But there will come a time when these ideas will permeate the global Jubilite movement and maximize their effect, I soon imagine. When it is clear enough the world that there is no turning back, and I would hazard that your recent work you've done, securing the sovereignty of New Wimpsfane, puts us closer to the movement than ever. So, what is it we're doing? According to these principles, it's quite simple. It relies on the premise that in order to destroy the evil power systems of overwhelming power, there is no tactic whatsoever that should be off the table. Everything the bastards are capable of doing to advance their goals, we must be capable of doing too, and we must. So, if the rich and powerful use their staggering wealth to entrench themselves in positions of supremacy, then if we are also to accumulate similar amounts of wealth, then we have, thanks to your brilliance. That means it isn't merely a good idea to use those levers to attack their power. It means we are obligated. It is a fact that the only way to defeat them is to abide to more honorable practices, would be to cede the advantage to which are counterproductive to us and wholly undeserved to them. And so, empower thusly our supreme pontifex. About a month ago, I went to work with various channels of the most resourceful Jubilees I could find, not to mention the ones with the least scrumples, but getting their hands dirty. Good people, really. Beautiful ensemble of particularly salty clowns who just want to make the biggest difference possible, like me. So let's begin with an example of how one might use such levers. It's well known that the upper echelons of The upper echelons of organization, the Secretary Applepie, herself targeting her own parents in a bold initial implementation of pranks. But the success of that prose, while phenomenally instrumental in jumpstarting this movement, fell far fell far short of total success. They've managed to secure assets. So, what other options exist? Well, one of the most direct tactics spelled out by the Supreme Pontifex is to apply assets towards legitimate accusations. Um, you're just becoming like a normal government. This is so lame. I get that whole rant now. She was basically saying if they can do it, we can do it. So we're just gonna be like a good government. I go into the expense of purchasing a company when it's a compromise by the people who are already running it. Many of the people working in these financial firms are a bunch of spineless nerds who, while used to handling the amount of money we're talking about, are not used to actually being paid that much. This makes them highly susceptible to bribery, while spinelessness makes them susceptible to acts of intimidation and coercion. If you were to run into some guys who are afraid of the law, that's where a good exit package can help. Just dangle a few million in front of the great coward, along with some plane tickets to somewhere in South America, some new identity papers, whatever it takes. So you have someone who's suddenly very cooperative in helping you move around a few billion in assets. But sometimes even all of that isn't quite enough to get results. Sometimes you have to get a couple of really tough customers who've been fleeced already locked everything down, such as the Secretary's parents, for instance. With hard targets like that, there are certain tactics of last resort that can help things move along, if you catch my meaning. You can't kill her parents. That isn't your call to make. Oh yes, I know. I wouldn't even be ringing you about green lighting such a play without your express approval. I'm just saying, it's gonna happen. I'm just telling you now. So why don't you actually tell me what's been done instead of explaining all this shit to me? Absolutely, waste no more time. Shall cut straight to the chase. First, I should mention I've been dividing acquisitions the last month into two columns: hard assets, soft assets. Assets, of course, anything of value. Okay. That's actually the exact opposite of normal hard and soft assets, but continue. Alright, not bad for a month of advanced pranksis. Tireless, around the clock pranksis by yours truly, mind you. But still a nice haul if I say so myself. But it gets better. Soft assets I have defined as those not still controlled by outsiders who happen to be seriously so it's not, I was thinking more like liquid assets and hard assets, but this means that in the event it becomes necessary, there's a high likelihood that assets could be transferred over to us. Naturally, it's hard to get a concrete tally on these resources, but my estimates are on 1.5 trillion. That's a lot of fucking money. Sure is. Turns out it's a lot easier to move this kind of money around than you think, since there's barely any real footprint to our movement. But if we want to quietly transfer stock from a hedge fund into our portfolio, it's just assigned to one of our members rather than a formal Jubilite entity that's easily traced. We've also been counting occupied property as hard assets, that is, any empty house or building in our forces have seized, which authorities deemed too difficult to reclaim. For instance, we have well-earned Jubilite, so we have lots of empty summer homes. That is billions of dollars of property, not to speak of the entire value of the island on which we stand. Such seizures taking place almost everywhere in the world. I must just say, it makes accounting estimates difficult, but I do believe my rough figures are quite reliable. And all these people you've compromised, two accounts for $1 trillion in soft assets. Where are these people? Everywhere. I begin by targeting the most obvious pressure points in the American economy. But the more I began delegating the generalized principles of advanced pranksters throughout my networks, the more people began to improvise and target many more entities. There are thousands of AAA operatives working on this. They're squeezing marks in all the big companies. Amazon, Exxon, Facebook. A lot of people on Facebook, actually, including Zuckerberg himself, which I don't mind stating with a certain amount of pride. Huh? Really? Trust me, we've got this guy by the balls. Nice. Sounds like this should come handy. Oh, believe me, it already has. Turns out, compromising the human resource infrastructure of just about any major corporation yields a wider range of benefits than increasing financial fluidity in our movement. Pull the strings on a social media giant controls the narratives much more easily. So that's how she's not banned. Because she definitely should be. On an energy giant, influence global geopolitics to your advantage. On an entertainment giant, well, you can change a lot of hearts and minds that way. Can't you? Unless, what are you getting at? I've been quite see to see Secretary Appleby taking up the cause of advanced princess totally unprompted and unstructured, also without including me in the loop or coordinating with my networks in any way. You talk about Abby's K-pop shit? Yes, her excellent work with that Korean group is remarkably popular. Somehow, by utilizing the world-renowned status she has achieved through visionary work, she has convinced the band to commandeer the entertainment company they are under contract with. Yeah, I know about this. This company made about 500 million revenue last year, and yet, due to the way Apple's secretary has been gone about this, she's not compromised them in a way that will allow her work. You don't need to. That is why it's so important for those engaging in advanced practice to stay connected with my network, to make sure we benefit from each operation. She's just doing this to get rich. Yeah, it was. I thought she was just fucking around. Well, maybe she actually got them to do it. As am I. Nothing but respect for my secretary. I don't think she compromised them, though. I think they're just doing their own thing, like taking control of their own shit and vibing with some anti-imperialist stuff. I think Sabby's just having fun helping them out, they're all. Surely no harm in having a bit of fun this is, but isn't that what pranks is all about? But I'd also wonder what the exact utility of establishing such high profile without no intention of exploiting them. Abby would never let us do that. Uh, really? Well, considering her rank and the influence she holds, and the example she could be setting, I can't help but feel like, as much as I love everything she's contributed to our movement, someone should be occupying her position who possibly contributes a little more to the movement, tangibly, I mean, in terms of proving the bottom line, both bring financial return to, you know, wink, wonk, wink, you know, wink, wonk, wink. She's thinking about it. Well, yeah, I mean, you aren't wrong. The type of person you described would objectively be a better fit for the number 2 spot. Can't even argue with that. Everything you sound says honestly, like, fucking incredible. Really sensational work in the month. Got more coming in than I thought you'd get in, like, years. I guess that makes it such a shame. What a shame. Oh, just shoot. What the fuck is this? Hey, it's the trailer. There's no music. I'm not. I didn't do anything to it. Money shot. So I should not want to go inside. No, he just did not fucking eat. Nice. Oh. Traders get the bullets. I heard what happened today. Abby. Hmm? Bitch, I'm trying to have a conversation with a normal person. Incredibly having to spend a bunch of day with a weird ass-kissing clouds makes me feel like I'm losing my mind. Yeah, sorry, I'm just in the middle of a important conversation. State with K-pop boy. Yes. How's it been going with him? Very good. Still feels surreal being on speaking terms with one of my idols, though. Guess I can relate. I mean, to him, not to you. I guess it feels like someone tells me something like that every day now. Yeah. I guess cult of personality is a powerful thing. Sucks actually, but yeah. So you hatching schemes over there with what's his face, the leader boy, named June? Yeah. Well, I think you're just at this point you're just forgetting their names on purpose. Maybe you should cut it out. Didn't you use to hate it when people got your name wrong? Didn't you use to hate it? Used? Is it? I've never seen that word be typed out. Yeah, I did until I changed my name and then it stopped mattering. Maybe they should pick cool new names for themselves, like me. They did. When BTS was just started, his name. He called himself Rat Monster. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, never mind then. So you got to hijack the shitty record label. What's next? More Frankses? Yeah, we're talking about a few options. Crazy amount of influence they have over what could happen in their country. Probably even more than you have here. Yeah, clearly. I'm just an American anti-hero cult figure or something, public enemy number one to the state. These guys are so benign, way too much cuck energy to be threatening to anyone. I'm glad to see you helping them fuck shit up. Not really trying to fuck anything up though, I'm just happy to see them take full control of their destiny as artists. Barely even doing anything for them, that's all they're doing really. What about you? Haven't you made inroads with people you've admired? Saw that Post Malone is a jubilate now. Sure, it seems that way. Got some new clown tats and everything. Fucking wild. So I didn't reach out. I can't. I'd embarrass myself. Fangirl. If I talk to him, blow my whole mystique. Besides, I don't think I can, in good conscience, drag Post deeper into this mess. Probably destroy that poor guy's life. I'm not saying go mess with him or anything, but I bet he would like to hear from you. I know this is all insane and very serious, but still try to think you should get the original spirit of when it was, when you can, try to have fun. Yeah, right. How can I think about fun when I had to do what I did today? Yes, you already tried to ask me, and I was just trying to keep my mind occupied so I don't have to dwell on that stuff. I'm sure you had good reasons for dealing with Jocelyn in that way. You're trying to keep us all alive here. That probably means making tough decisions. But anything like that, violence, really, triggers me, even thinking about it. So I have to figure out ways to keep myself sane. I know. I don't mean to push it in your face. I've never even told you about her because I didn't want to upset you. About a month ago, I figured out she was one of the girls who terrorized me after my breakdown a few years ago. And she somehow climbed the ladder as an undercover clown. Oh jeez, that's really scary. I didn't even think she had a problem with me after all this time. I doubt she even believed in anything. She never cared about my original problematic shit I got canceled for. She just used me. She just enjoyed using it as an excuse to trash me. She saw a chance to get involved with something cool and make herself look important, and took it. Wouldn't be surprised her long game was gunning for my spot. Not just yours. I didn't tell anyone, so I knew I could keep a close eye on her. At least it's over. Yeah, but I have to be more careful. What a fucking train wreck this all is. Anyone could be anyone. Really cool of me to build an organization which, by definition, lets your membership conceal who you really are. I need a title ring, that's all. I got too sloppy. I'm sure you'll figure it out. We've really painted ourselves into a corner here. So much danger, we can't really reverse course, so hope you don't mind if I sink myself into these distractions. Yeah, that's fine. We're just vibing here tonight. Here, you want some? No, thanks. I'm good with the wine. You must be really tapping into the dregs now. How much is that bottle? Couple $100, I think. Yeah. Oh, that is the nasty shit. You might as well go into the barn and top your glass off Dave's handful of hoofs dick. Well, it's fine. Anyways, when did you start blazing it? Like a billion tons of weed starting getting smuggled onto the island. It seemed like a lot of land is getting adapted to weed farming now. That's cool, I guess. New Whimsy does need like an economy after all. Seems like a good export model. Did you order people to do that? Haha, no. A lot of shit just sort of happens now. I barely have to do anything operational except preside over the occasional clown execution. Yeah, let's hope duty stays very occasional. I don't know, my hater list is pretty long by now. Oh, please tell me you're joking. About doing more clown executions? Yeah, I was joking, but the list thing? It's an actual thing. I thought you knew about it. Yeah, I do know. I was hoping you'd just stop keeping up with it at some point. You still maintaining it? Well, damn it, Z. There's just so many fucking people out to get us. Really bad people. Not even just like old shitty haters like Jocelyn anymore. Tracking master government and media people too. Bunch of corporate types. Awful guys, you know. Yeah, I get it. They're all terrible. I just think this hit list stuff is really unhealthy for you, like psychologically. Makes you really paranoid, and I'm worried that you, what? I just don't want you to see you spiral into a dark place that got you started on this all over again. I'll be fine. I know I complain about shit, but I feel better than I ever did. Everything has a purpose now. I don't need to struggle with my direction in life or what I'm trying to accomplish. That's great and all, and I know you're smarter than me, but sometimes I feel crazy pointing out stuff that sounds like really basic. All the lists of people you keep, isn't that the kind of things dictators do? To keep track of all the people who are like expendable. That's a pretty melodramatic take. I'm not planning a mass purge of the haters and antis if that's what you're asking. If only because these ain't fucking maggots aren't even worth the energy. Alright, you say so, but I hope you don't mind if I just keep pulling back away from all this in any way I can. Of course, I'll be there for you, of course, but I've just been considering deactivating my social media account soon. Are you sure about that? No, it's just been something I've been thinking about. Get a little more distance from everything and keep myself sane. People will see it as a formal recognition of your position in the chain of command, though. So I'd also need to fill a void. You're the only person I trust. I know that. I keep wrestling with it. I want to keep supporting you. I just haven't decided what to do yet. Okay. Psychic damage. We talked to a new friend who once named himself after a monster. You stare in the mirror at her old friend who may be in the process of turning into one. Whoa. Oh my god. This is so deep. Constantly, so much is happening. So much crazy stuff is happening constantly. It can be easy to start feeling numb to it. Maybe it's a good idea to reflect on certain surreal truths every now and then. Like how it feels pretty messed up when your Joe wine buddy has to sincerely offer caution about remarks of turning into Joseph Stalin. Psychic damage. That's ridiculous, of course. Many revolutionaries, after tasting success, would hear the siren songs of mass murder, but you know in your heart you're different. You've never been more sure that you're doing this. Oh no! Well, you know, road to hell paved. Good intentions. Urgent news article is blown up on your phone. Nothing ever happens on your phone unless it's highly relevant to your movement. The fans and key members of your organization are always the first to push the story hard. It makes it nervous when it happens. Big stories rarely feel like they contain good news for you. And this one is certainly no exception. The report says Abby's... Wow! I called it. It has to be Jocelyn. It had to be her. The bitch greenlit those oars behind your back before she died. Then she floated the idea to you. It wasn't hypothetical. The auras are already out. Fuck. Afraid you have to go back and talk to Ed. You have no idea how you can break this to her. In fact, you probably don't even need to. See, on our phone already. How do you explain? How can you explain this? You tiptoe out of the bathroom. You take your possibly tiny footsteps back to the living room. And if you walk slowly enough, you'll simply never arrive. Hey, I'm sorry. I'll be okay. Part of me always sensed this day might come. It wasn't supposed to happen, though. It's Jocelyn. She mentioned something about it. I had no idea she already put an emotion without telling me. I guess I killed her before she had the chance to reverse the order. It's my fault. No, it's mine. I went along with it at the beginning. I kept going. I could have stopped at any time, but I enjoyed it as much as you did. I finally felt like I was reclaiming a part of my soul by ripping them off. Part of me that benefited from all their money at the expense of others. Thought if we could use their money to make a difference, I'd feel better. But it went too far. All of this did. I mean, they weren't good people, though. I know they weren't, but it wasn't their fault, though. They just made too much money and spent too much time with the wrong people. Listen to the bullshit. They were family. I didn't want this. Personally speaking, this feels really heavy right now, but you get used to being free of your bad parents. I'm sure it'll feel liberating after you let some time go by. Z, I don't think that's a nice thing to say right now, but I'm too sad to be mad about it. I had to deactivate my accounts. I'm sure you'll find someone who's in the backstabber to help you. I'll still follow you all the way because I love you, but there are certain things I can't do anymore. There's the psychic damage. It was delayed. The feeling of heartbreak leaves the void. Rage fills it quickly, as usual. First, it's just anger at yourself. You knew Jocelyn was a traitor, but you strung her along for an entire month, letting her play her games while you were biding your time, waiting for the right moment to put her down. If only you hadn't been so lenient. You could have pulled the trigger weeks earlier before she had the chance to get carried away, or you just shot her the day you found out about her treachery. But why should you be angry at yourself? She was the one who killed Abby's parents. She was the one who canceled you, beating herself up for your leniency. It's just playing to the hands of people like this. It's letting them win, no matter what one she does. No, she's the one who deserves all your rage. Like everyone like her deserves your rage. Oh, I'm not gonna commit genocide. Literally like 20 pages later. Man, genocide sounds really cool, and I want to commit genocide. Can't start thinking that way. The next page. Oh wait, that's genocide, isn't it? Can't start thinking that way. You remember what Abby was telling you about hater lists, about how that could lead to. You already hurt her so much. You can't let yourself get put through more grief than she's already endured. You don't know how you'd be able to live with yourself if you destroyed her. You're exhausted. You tell yourself the same thing you've been telling yourself most nights when you go to sleep. All these problems will probably seem less insane and unsolvable in the morning, but you're never right, obviously. Tell yourself anyway, like a comforting lullaby. Ooh, he's gonna be angry. He's gonna be angry clown. Oh, she's like on the moon. A moon. Rotus. Yes. Don't go, we need to talk. Where would I go? As long as you feel driven to survive, I'll always be with you. I mean, don't fuck off suddenly. I need more answers. No, I need help. I'm only unavailable the moment you wake up. Your time with me is only fleeting if you waste it. I just need to know if you're real, if I'm just losing it. If I'm a figment of your imagination, can I just answer yes? Am I real? Your subconscious can only insist on reality, let this lie, to continue tricking you. And if I were real, I simply couldn't lie about that, to plant seeds of doubt in your head about the origin of the ideas that just share in this world. It just sounds like fancy bullshit of saying I can't trust anything you say. But perhaps you can't. Didn't you already know that? Why are you asking me to confirm something to you, when you know it could be a mere act of confirmation, could be part of the deception? Wouldn't it be better to assume I'm real than asking important questions you have? Then after I answer, you're free to wake up and decide what value those answers have. Okay. I was saying you're popping off about your, like, insane psychic imperialism. I was? Yeah. That's what you were hinting at. Then, what's your question? I don't know yet, and just trying to confirm that's what you're going on here, based on presumptions that you're real. As I'm, oh my god. Let's continue, which is to speak of certain possibilities, like what? Such as the possibility is that I was not even the first Jubilite, as your manifesto describes, huh? Are you saying you aren't? I'm saying that you should consider the possibility that I'm not. Consider that I was the once a member of a race of people on a far-off planet which was not called the Women's Plane, and who had never heard of Jubilites or even had any particular affinity to clowns. What the fuck? I also consider that I was visited in my dreams by a being that was self-described as the first Jubilite on a planet called Women's Plane. She told me everything I've told you. Eventually, she began telling me to consider even deeper truths about her reality. Then she was asking me to consider that she was not the first one either. That it came to the promises. Promises? She promised glory, infamy, immortality. She promised the transcendence of all physical form, attachment to my original planet, culture. She promised me everything, that I would rise above everything I accomplished with the conquest of my own world. She told me that there was so much more to discover, if only I had persevered and achieved absolute victory. Her telling me that's like what's in store for me if I win? I'm not telling you anything. I'm just telling you to consider, just as she was. Okay, I think I get the game you're playing, and the, like, weird booble rules it has for some reason. Whatever, I can play along. You already have been, and as I said before, you're doing very well. And when she told you that stuff hypothetically, what did you do? You continued doing what I was already doing, because regardless of where the ideas originated, I believe what I was doing for my world was right. But I continued with additional vigor, because it was then that I began to believe that I was becoming a crucial part of something which had great cosmic significance. It seemed to me that I was assuming a place of lineage of unfathomably consequential figures which spans millions and billions of stars. I guess that's sort of a motivation, sure. It doesn't sound like the type of idea which motivates you, though. I don't know. It's a fucking lot. This is a perfectly reasonable stance, and it is why my predecessor felt it was important to leave the truth herself as a speculative, the truth of herself as a speculative, and why I'm doing so with you as well. Because there's no motivation which can truly substitute the feeling of conviction of what you're doing is right. In that sense, it must come from with you, not from fairy tales of space and infamy. Well, I do what I think I'm doing is right. But it's also really hard and fucking up my friendship, and it's making me fucking sad all the time. I didn't say that was easy, in fact I'm telling you the opposite. Just as my predecessor told me, but it sounds like she lit a fire under your ass all the same. She told you all the stuff, didn't you, like, do it with, like, extra vigor? Yes. What does that even mean? It means I was brutal. Is this not what you wanted to hear? It sounds fucked up, and it sounds like what I'm already worried about, what Abby's really worried about. I don't think I can hurt her anymore. I remember what it was like to have mortal concerns like these. I feel nothing but sympathy for what you're experiencing, but these are very small matters compared to the grand scale you were discussing. Sounds like you're trying to convince me of being more hardcore about this, but trust me, dude, I'm already there. You really aren't. I've made fucking lists. I just shot a girl today. She killed Abby's parents, and I'm not lecturing you. I'm actually paying you a compliment. You have come so much farther than I did in a much shorter period of time. How long did it take you? It took me many years to crush all the forces of opposition on my planet. The lives lost were countless, and you have only spent months pursuing your mission, and yet incredibly, you are on the precipice of total victory. I am? In fact, your successful is so nearly within your grasp, it may not be obvious to you, but it's very clear to me. So, what I'm hearing right is I've basically been coming to my dreams basically to finally tell me how much better at this I am than you. That is not inaccurate, but it is also foolish to be overconfident, even more foolish to assume that the level of brutality you've already inflicted will be remotely sufficient for completing your mission. Withdrawing from your instincts for survival and the violence that flows from it is a mistake. Be a great mistake. I don't know if Abby thinks I should just delete the lists. She's not the Supreme Hawk Fix, you are. I know. There are so many who opposed me too. Their methods, their motivations, always the same. Ridicule, jealousy, greed, lust for power. They all try to kill you eventually, I promise. So you should remember why you wrote the list originally, don't you? Don't you remember what they did to deserve it? There's nothing else for me to say, for you know this as well as I. The moment you wrote down their names, they were already dead. Wake up. Still nighttime. How long you've been out? Couldn't be more. A few hours. Dream was intense. You've ever had. You're bleeding somehow. Grip me so high. What the? It appears your entire hair loss has been copied into a text message just during 3. Did you do this in your sleep? You've responded with understandable confusion. They're wondering what the purpose of this list is. There's only one possible reason you would have dropped this list, unconsciously or otherwise. Understanding the correct moral choice is rarely hard. Oh, man, she really is flip-flopping on genocide. Your vision was inevitable. The sledgehammer it's taken in the capitalist in order of this planet was inevitable. And what is perhaps the most inevitable is your wrath. As Rhodes properly pointed out, these people have brought it upon themselves. The moment they spoke your name with a sense of spite, they should have known they were speaking a suicidal curse, inviting this inevitability into their lives someday. Inevitability is defined by the forces which try to stop it. Its strength is measured by everything that gets in its way, only to be crushed. The power of a nation, the heart of a friend, even when conscious of the host. That is to say, the vessel is meant to deliver the unstoppable. Your conscience can only make you bleed through the nose and turn your knuckles white to fight the inevitable, to put up the fight against the inevitable. Ooh, that's a lot. But just like every single one of those miserable fucking rants, it never even stood a chance. And that's all, folks. See you in 2 weeks. Oh, good chapter. See, we got 3 more. No, 2 more left. For some reason, when I was first reading this, I thought it went to 10, but it only goes to 9. Well, hope you guys all have a good day. Bye.